You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, a huge win for the Giants as Logan Webb willed this team to victory. They beat the Braves 6-0, and they absolutely had to have this one if they wanted to keep their playoff hopes alive, albeit on life support at this point. Webb came out like a man possessed and pitched a dominant 7.2 shutout innings and tallied 7 strikeouts. And he was even, frankly, more dominant than those numbers suggest. The offense stepped up today with a bunch of extra base hits, and even rookie Grant McCray got in on the action with his first big league fly, his first big league hit, his first big league RBI. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you get the show, we appreciate you tuning in. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. This one, the Giants got on the board first. In the bottom of the second inning, they loaded the bases after 3 singles with nobody out, and they got a run on one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen in my life. Rookie Grant McCray comes up Curt Casale had a ball way off the plate in the dirt and struck out. It was just a terrible situation. And then recorded the first out of the inning. McCrae comes up right after that with the bases loaded and 1 out, and he lays down a bunt, which was interesting because all that the Braves needed to do was, there's a force play at home, just get the ball back to that catcher, get the ball into d'Arnaud's hand, and Fried, he came off the mound pretty quickly. He got to the ball, he fed it to d'Arnaud, but he bobbled it, and Encarnacion, running hard down the third baseline, slides in there just in time. Giants get a 1-0 lead, and they give Grant McCray a base hit on the play. Absolutely wild way for the Giants to score a run. A team that just cannot buy a hit in these situations. I guess bring up a rookie and see if he can lay down a bunt in that situation. Wow. Absolutely wild way for the Giants to start the scoring in this one. Tyler Fitzgerald then hits a sac fly to score Mike Yastrzemski, and I've never been more excited to see a sac fly in my life, man. The way that this team has just been unable to have any form of productive outs, unable to advance runners, unable to have good situational at-bats. This was a display of good situational hitting by the Giants, and they couldn't add any more in that inning, but at least they got more than one. It seems like they've just been limited to only being able to collect multiple runs at a time if they hit a multi-run home run, which, as you guys know, is not very often that the Giants do that. So today has been tough. Today was great, but recently it's been tough for the Giants to score. Today they did a lot better, even though they still only went 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position and left 7 on base. It looks a lot better because you had a couple big flies, and it got going with in the 6th inning when Casey Schmidt came up and drove a 2-run bomb over the left field wall to lift the lid on this one. It seemed like the Giants were kind of just not able to really put anything together again in this one after those 2 runs until this Casey Schmidt at bat. And he just absolutely crushed this ball. He did not hit it very far distance-wise, only 372 feet, but he hit this thing 109 miles an hour. It had some topspin on it, and it still somehow got out of the stadium. That is a frozen rope if I've ever seen one. Gave the Giants a 4-0 lead as there was a runner on first. Yaz had walked right after that. It was the last batter that Max Fried faced and before yielding to Jesse Chavez. Jesse Chavez, man, I wish this guy could pitch against the Giants every single day, because even Curt Casale barreled one up. It didn't get out of the yard or anything like that. But tons of loud contact, coming off of this guy today. And right after that, Grant McCray comes up and smashes his first big league home run. And I mean smashes. He hit this thing 404 feet to center, 102.1 miles an hour off the bat. And his dad, a former big leaguer, was in the audience. It was such a cool visual, seeing him just so elated, sprinting up and down the aisle of the section that he was in. He had a ton of family out there yesterday when he made his big league debut in center field, and they were all out there again today. His dad is a former big leaguer, but only had 14 big league at-bats and never had a home run as a professional baseball player in Major League Baseball. So Grant McCray did something that his dad couldn't do. McCray, by the way, is the number 13 prospect in the Giants farm system. He's a guy who can steal a lot of bases, a speedy guy, and he's got some pop, as you saw today. He's not going to have a ton of home runs, but he can run into one or two. I think he had 6 home runs down in AAA this year, so a nice little spark for the Giants in a time in the season when this team desperately needs one. And I mean, I don't know where the motivation to just go on this unreal run that to end the season that they're gonna need to start if they want to make the playoffs. But maybe it comes from the youth again, because that's what propelled this team in the beginning of the season. And maybe having another new young face, some fresh legs in the clubhouse, maybe that will help lift the Giants and I don't know, maybe start a rally towards the second half of the season in this last month and a half. I mean, we are really getting down to it. It is the 15th of August today, and we are right up against it. And the Giants, I mean, at least they started playing like it today, because they had not played like it this series at all. The Giants, after that McCrae home run, took a 5-0 lead, added one more to the total in the 7th inning when Ramos led off with a double on a high sinker that was left up in the zone by Chavez, and then Chapman just drilled a double off the wall to score. Ramos gave the Giants a 6-0 lead, and as I said, Jesse Chavez just giving up a ton of hard contact. Very weird visual, by the way. Like, I know dude wears glasses on a regular basis, but very weird visual for me to see a pitcher wearing sunglasses. Very strange. You don't see that too often. Normally that's like an outfielder thing or like a position player thing in general, not just an outfielder thing, but you rarely, if ever, see pitchers wearing sunglasses. That was strange. And I know they're probably prescription sunglasses, because dude wears regular glasses on a regular day as well. But just weird, very weird. It looked like I was playing MLB The Show and some dude put their created player in there. It was just strange, very strange. But the real story today, we went through all the Giants runs. The real story today is Logan Webb, man. And this dude, I mean, we said it on the show last night. I expected Logan Webb to come out today and show the world what he was made of, to display a Logan Webb masterclass, and that is exactly what he did. And man, as I said at the top of the show, 7.2 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, only 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and of course 0 runs. And he was even more dominant than those numbers suggest. Logan Webb had absolute total command of this strike zone from the jump in this one. Usually he has a little bit of a shaky start to the game. You know, the first, second innings can be a little rocky for him at times. Today, not at all. Dude came out locked in. I mean, I have rarely seen Logan Webb look just so, I mean, from the start in this game, dude just looked angry. Like, he was pitching mad. Like, he knows the season's on the line, and he knew it was a large part up to him with the lack of run support that the Giants have given him all season long. I don't blame Logan Webb for probably going out on the mound and thinking, I need to spin a shutout in order for us to win this game and keep our season alive. And that's exactly what he did. And thankfully, the Giants did give him more than his typical 2 to 3 runs of run support today. They gave him 6, which is more than enough for Logan Webb when he's locked in. He's now had 4 starts in a row where he has been truly dominant. Logan Webb at his best. And more today with that 2-seamer. Man, I mean, if it wasn't evident early in this one when he was reaching back and grabbing 96 miles an hour with that 2-seamer, then, I mean, I don't know what else he needed to signal to, like, show you the flag, like, hey, the Giants are here to win this game. Logan Webb is ready to go. I mean, dude was pitching like this was his last game of his career. He's pitching for his life out there, and he just left it all on the table. Logan Webb, I'm sure he wanted to finish that inning. I'm sure he wanted to finish this game. But in the late in this one, in the 8th inning, he kind of got squeezed a little bit, ended up walking a guy, gave up a base hit in the next at bat, and put runners at the corners with 2 outs in the 8th inning. And Bomel went to Tyler Rogers in the last of that inning to close that one out. And then he turned to Spencer Bivens in the 9th to lock this one down for the Giants. And it was great. It was a great pitching performance all the way around. The bullpen did a really solid job, didn't give up a hit, only had 1 strikeout, no walks. So solid day from Bivens and Tyler Rogers. Shout out Spencer Bivens, who's got a sub-2 ERA, 1.90 ERA for Bivens. By the way, Logan Webb's ERA down to 3.17 after the 7 2/3 shutout innings. Picks up the win. It's his 11th of the season. Logan Webb sitting at 11-8 on the season win-loss record. And the Giants also moved back to 500 with the win. They're at 62-62 and just hovering right around there. They're also now 3.5 games back from the Braves for that final National League wild card spot. But you still got a lot of work to go. I mean, you have 38 games left to play, and you got a very, very, very crowded National League race at the bottom of that wild card. I mean, you got the Reds right there hanging around. You got the Mets. I mean, the Giants are right there too. So it's going to be a crowded race to the finish, but the Giants are probably going to need some help at this point if they want to get into the playoffs. They don't seem to control their own destiny right now. You could have really taken this could have been much different. They could have taken the reins and control of their season if they had won this series. If they had won 3-1 instead of losing 3-1, this is immensely different. I mean, we are talking about the Giants being right on the doorstep of a playoff berth, of being in the postseason, and we're only about a little more than a month away. So you don't have that much time to make up this ground, but at least with the win today, you avoid going 5.5 back. If the Giants had lost today and we're sitting at the end of the series at 5.5 back, I truly think that would have been the end of this season for all intents and purposes. I mean, you couldn't, I don't think they would have been able to dig themselves out of that hole. That would have been insurmountable. Almost a week's worth of games in just about a month left to play would have been very, very, very difficult. 3.5 is still hard, but not as difficult. Obviously, 3.5 is a smaller number than 5.5. It's not likely. It's very unlikely that this team will make the postseason, but they're not dead yet. They still have a shot. That fat lady, she was warming up last night. Logan Webb went in the back and said, hey, you can go sit down for at least one more day. I got it today. So Logan Webb wills the Giants to a win. Grant McCray, have a day, my guy, and the Giants keep hanging on to this season by a thread. We're going to take a quick break here on the Locked On Giants postcast. On the other side, more from Logan Webb's day. Exactly what was he doing that was so effective on the mound to shut down the Braves? Stick with us. We'll talk about it on the other side. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I love the last-minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, whatever you're into, they got it. Zone deals are pretty sweet too. If you know you want to see the Giants and you want to sit in a specific part of the yard, like maybe on the right field wall up on the arcade, or maybe you want to get rowdy in the left field bleachers, have a brew or two, you just choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats and save even more money. And of course, you got to love the all-in pricing. Make sure to toggle this feature on to show the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. I hate surprise fees, so this sounds great to me. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and I'm checking out the chat right now. And yeah, my guy Nick, Logan Webb was the man today. Absolutely. And Randy also, great game by Webb, all the young players, Schmidt looking better at the plate, McCrae getting his bat going. That sums it up perfectly. That is exactly what was going on today for the Giants. Logan Webb, dominant on the hill today, and he had that sinker, that two-seamer, whatever the hell you want to call that pitch, the one where he throws it like a two-seam fastball, but they call it a sinker for some reason. It is so dominant. One of his best pitches, and I mean his changeup is what we've come to know and love him for, is that changeup. But the fastball sets up that changeup, man. And today, let me tell you, that fastball was moving. I mean, he was getting a lot of horizontal break on that on that pitch. I mean, he was really backdooring guys nonstop, not just with that, but with the sweeper as well. I mean, his maximum run that he got on that sinker today was 18 inches of horizontal break. That's 3 inches more than his average that he gets on that pitch during the season. So that thing was really bending out there today. And you could tell the way that it was sliding back into the strike zone. Logan Webb racking up 7 strikeouts. I mean, strikeouts are not his strong suit. That's not what this guy normally goes out there looking to do. He's a ground ball guy. We know this through and through. But I mean, he was, when he had to have him, he got him. And I mean, nothing was more that wasn't more on display than in the 4th inning when Logan Webb got a ground ball to third with the runner at first, and it should have been a double play, but Chapman, the throw to Schmidt was high and Schmidt bobbled it. He didn't really even bobbled it. He caught it, and on the exchange, the ball kind of fell out of his glove, and somehow the runner at second was called safe. The Giants challenge, and it seemed clear to me that it was dropped on the exchange, but it was not overturned. They said that the call was confirmed and that the runner at second was safe. Obviously, Schmidt couldn't get the throw off to first because he dropped it. It was an absolutely terrible, terrible call. Maybe the worst replay review decision I've ever seen in my life. Like, that seems so obvious to me. They charged an error to Schmidt, which also didn't seem right because it was a pretty bad throw by Matt Chapman. I mean, Casey Schmidt still got it in the glove, but he definitely had to, alter his path to the ball to kind of last minute jump up and snag that and save that thing from going into the outfield. But instead of having a runner at first and 1 out, the Braves had first and second with nobody out and Ozuna at the dish. And Logan Webb after Ozuna works a full count, Logan Webb strikes him out with a backdoor 94-mile-an-hour two-seamer that just painted the outside corner perfectly. You could not go up and place the ball in the strike zone any more perfectly than Logan Webb did. I mean, it was the single most impressive strikeout I have seen Webb have this season. It was a battle of an at-bat against a guy who has just been one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball this season. And Logan Webb got him. And Ozuna knew it. As soon as that pitch came through, he immediately started walking back to the dugout. Didn't even wait for the umpire to call strike 3. He knew it. And he knew Logan Webb won that battle. And that was huge because immediately afterwards, Logan Webb gets a double play and gets out of the inning. It's been so nice watching Logan Webb these last 4 starts be the guy that the Giants have come to know and love, that all Giants fans have come to know and love. Just a bulldog on the mound. I know I say that every time, but I can't think of a better word to describe the guy. He is so incredibly stubborn, which if you've ever owned a bulldog or know someone who has owned a bulldog, you know that is the hallmark trait of those animals. And that is exactly what Logan Webb is on the mound. He is stubborn. You know what he's going to do? He's going to do it anyways, and you aren't going to be able to stop him. And that is the definition. He's going to come right at you, not back down, and just, relentless on the mound. And we know that he always does it with the ground balls, and today he did it again. 10 ground outs. He did get 2 flyouts as well, but it's great when you have a guy on the mound who pitches like this. It keeps your defense engaged. He works quick on the mound, a quick run time today for the game. And Webby was just so dominant today. Can't say enough about how good he was on the mound. 104 pitches for Logan Webb, and he had to have it. The killer whale is like the heart and soul of this Giants team right now. He's not a big vocal leader in the clubhouse, but he does it with his demeanor. He holds his teammates accountable. You see the way that he goes after guys, like on that play where the Giants couldn't turn that double play at second base. where Schmidt dropped the ball in the exchange. You saw him immediately start barking at both Casey Schmidt and Matt Chapman. How many dudes are going to go and bark at a platinum glove guy when he flubs a throw over to second base? Not too many. Logan Webb's going to do it, though. He, especially in a game like this, man. And wow. The Giants had to have this, and for Logan Webb to step up and do it like this, ace stuff, man. Just absolutely ace stuff. He's the innings leader in the National League. He's been super solid at home. The Giants are now 9-3 in his 12 home starts this season. They've won 5 of his last 6 starts in Oracle Park. So he's really on fire at home right now. And one of the other cool stats that I saw come across today during the game was MLB leaders of starts of 7+ innings. Logan Webb, number 1 at 14 7+ inning starts. And that's huge. Chris Sale is second with 11, and Zach Wheeler is third with 10. But for a team that really struggles especially early in the season, really struggles with the rest of their pitching staff to get them to pitch deep in games, it's a blessing to have Logan Webb on this team. He is the perfect guy to lead this staff, both in demeanor and in his stuff, the way that he pitches. I love Logan Webb, man. I just absolutely love watching this guy pitch for the Giants. Webb day is win day, and today the Giants avoid the sweep with the win, and they're clinging to their playoff lives. They got a long way to go. Long way to go. Still 3.5 back, but you got a month and a half of baseball to play. Not a ton of time, but enough time that you can catch some people. You might need some help. There have been bigger collapses. I brought up yesterday the Mets team with David Wright and Jose Reyes. It seemed like every year that team would get into September, they would just immediately fall apart. So we'll see what happens going down the stretch. But for today, the Giants win this one 6-0. The bats get going, and rookie Grant McCray, well, he had a nice little not debut, but got things going today for the first time in his big league career, in his second professional baseball game as a San Francisco Giants. And we got to talk about that a little bit, because this is a pretty cool moment for this kid, and he's a pretty solid prospect for the Giants. Stick with us. On the other side, we're going to talk about Grant McCray's nice day. Logan Webb, oh man, he was so dominant, just absolutely killed it for the Giants today. It's almost not single-handedly. The offense actually stepped up today, but I feel like if Logan Webb had an at-bat today, like if he got to hit, dude probably would have crushed one off the wall or something, because he was just that locked in. Webb was ready to do anything that the Giants asked him to do today, and he delivered. 7 2/3 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and frankly, he was much more dominant than that suggested. On the other side, take a quick break here. We got to talk about Grant McCray and his nice day today. His bunt, his crazy bunt single that scored a run, the first run of this game, and of course, his first big league fly. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections for a chance to win 100 times your money. With the finals over, the hoops action doesn't stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is still heating up, with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves along greats like Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson. You could win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out. If you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every single week. From lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back. And if you have a losing lineup on Fridays, getting some relief. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And today's show is also sponsored by Liquid IV. When you're taking in America's pastime, Don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV's Popsicle Firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. I love Liquid IV's great taste, and staying hydrated is essential for my lifestyle. I love hiking on these warm summer days, getting out there playing in my softball rec league and going to see concerts. I mean, it's concert season right now too, but it's also really hot out there in the summertime and a lot of sun exposure. Even if it's not, you got to check that UV index, man. You know what I'm talking about. So you got to keep that Liquid IV on you. And of course, with Liquid IV, it's more than just a drink. It's a science-backed way to hydrate better. Tear pour and live more. One stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than just water alone. Powered by LIV Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. It's got 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. So, no more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants win 6-0 over the Braves, keeping their season alive. I mean, on life support. Like, it is right there. I mean, they are on the brink. But today, Logan Webb, the great game for him, 7 2/3 shutout innings. We talked about that extensively. But he also got some help from the offense today. And in the center of all of this was rookie Grant McCray, and just his second MLB game. And a lot of fans weren't happy about seeing this guy come up, not necessarily because they didn't want to see him, but they were upset about Luciano getting sent down just a couple of weeks after Farhan had declared that trading Soler was so that we could see more Marco Luciano at bats. Well, I guess he's going to be seeing those at bats in AAA, because right now Grant McCray is getting some of those at bats with Elliot Ramos at DH. McCray took over the center field duties, and he had in 3 at bats today. He had 2 hits. He had 3 at bats, a walk, 2 hits, a run scored. He had 2 RBIs, and he did have 1 strikeout as well. But the 1 home run was nice. That one that he smashed over the center field wall. I mean, that was a very, very, very pretty swing. And he, from a guy that's as slight as he is, sure was able to generate a lot of power and lift that one on out of here. And so Grant McCray looked really good today to me. And I mean, he looks like he's got a pretty good glove out there in center. He can get to a lot of balls. And that one that he smashed out of here, it was a first pitch of the at-bat cutter. It was low and not really low, but like middle low, middle in, and he smashed it. I mean, he got the barrel down there and golfed that one on out of here, 404 feet. And I like the fact that he was able to send that ball to center field and square that up as well as he was. Didn't just try and pull that one as he might have pulled that foul and rolled over on it a little bit. He squared that up and smashed that to straightaway center. A nice piece of hitting from a guy who's the Giants kind of expect a lot from this guy. I mean, he's a top 13 prospect. He's the number 13 prospect the number 11 prospect, according to MLB.com, in the Giants system. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2019 for the Giants out of Lakewood Ranch High School in Florida. He's also a fast guy. He'll steal you some bases, and the Giants really, really, really need guys like that. It seems like the only guy who can steal a base on this team is Tyler Fitzgerald, and that's been a revelation lately. I mean, only the last 2 weeks really we've seen Fitzgerald stealing, but this guy Grant McCray, he had 52 stolen bases with Eugene last year. That was the 2nd most in all of high A baseball. And that, thinking about that ascension, he was in high A Eugene last year, and now he's already with the big league club. So that tells you how good this guy has been in the minor leagues and what he projects, what the Giants think that he projects as a big leaguer. I mean, this guy, he started the season in AA Richmond, played 50 games with the Squirrels, got promoted to AAA on June 11th, and now after just barely over 2 months in AAA in Sacramento, gets the big league call. He slashed 272 down with the River Cats, 272, 347, 471. And he had 35 runs, 6 homers, 4 triples, and 29 RBIs in 47 games. Made appearances at center field, right field, and left field. He's a piece, definitely a piece. So this isn't just like a random guy that the Giants called up to fill a spot when they were, kind of feeling it in the dog days of summer. This is a kid who can actually make an impact with this team. He's only been here for 2 days, so we're not going to make any declarations about what this guy is or what he's going to be for the Giants. But for today, a very nice showing in his second MLB game, and a great moment watching his dad just elated running up and down those aisles of his section after his son went yard. His dad, a former big leaguer, never had a home run in Major League Baseball himself, but at least he gets to watch his kid do it, which has got to be the next best thing in life if you couldn't get that done on your own. So, I mean, the Giants, a very nice day for Grant McCray. Good feel-good story. And a good win for the Giants. I should say a great win for the Giants. They absolutely needed to do this, needed to win this game in order for them to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. And it's tough. It's tough end of the season. You do have the White Sox and the A's coming up. You got a chance to win a lot of games in those series, or maybe a couple games in those series. And then the schedule gets a lot harder. We talked about that extensively yesterday. It's essential for the Giants to beat teams that they should beat. In these next 2 series, they should beat these 2 teams, the A's and the White Sox. The Giants need to beat these 2 teams decidedly. Like, I think they can maybe afford to lose 1 game between these next 2 series if they want to keep pace with the rest of the National League wildcard contenders. They need to keep playing like this. The offense needs to start hitting with runners in scoring position. I am a broken record. I am aware. Maybe if they start doing it, I'll stop saying it. Today they were 3 for 11. That's not terrible, but 3 for 11 is not great. That's not very good situational hitting. It's absolutely better than 0 for 10 or 1 for 8, but not by a lot. So the Giants kind of bailed out by home runs today. If they didn't have those home runs, they only scored 3 runs that didn't come on the long ball. So, I mean, they got the sac fly from Fitzgerald, that crazy bunt play by McCrae to score the first run of this game when the bases were loaded with 1 out early in this one was just unreal. I can't believe that they actually scored on that play. I can't believe that was the actual call at that time. And how wild is it that he gets asked to lay down a bunt with the bases loaded. In his next at bat, he smashes a 400+ foot home run. So that's just kind of how the Giants season has gone this year. You never know who it's going to come from, but the home runs seem to be coming. Just you never know when they'll come. So the Giants win 6-0 over the Braves. Logan Webb masterclass. Grant McCray has a great day, and the season is still alive, even though we're on life support. Thanks for tuning in. That's all the time that we got for you today on the Locked On Giants postcast. We'll come to you live as we finish up, or next time, not finish up, but finishing up this show. We'll come to you live next time, not tomorrow. The Giants have an off day tomorrow, and I'll be moving all day long, which is just the best thing to do. I mean, you guys love moving. I know that. So I'm going to spend my whole day carrying stuff, and this backdrop might look a little different the next time that you tune in to the Locked On Giants postcast. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.